Ducati has been left stunned by the latest developments surrounding Marc Marquez's condition ahead of the Hungarian MotoGP. After months of doubts about whether he could return to his best form due to the physical problems he has endured this season, new reports have emerged that have completely changed the mood inside the paddock and sparked widespread speculation among his rivals. So what exactly has happened to Marc Marquez's condition that has surprised Ducati and the rest of the MotoGP field ahead of the Hungarian Grand Prix? Let's discuss. Just a few months ago, Marc Marquez's future was one of the biggest talking points in the MotoGP paddock. After struggling with a series of physical setbacks that affected his performance throughout the season, many began to question whether the former world champion could ever return to the level that once made him the dominant force in the sport. However, the situation is now beginning to change. Marquez's performance at last weekend's Catalan Grand Prix sent a very encouraging message. Although he was unable to secure a victory, the Ducati Lenovo team rider successfully completed the entire race weekend without any incidents or crashes. For many riders, that might seem like a normal achievement, but for Marquez, it represented a major step forward in his recovery process. The biggest talking point actually came after the race. Television cameras captured Marquez walking back to the paddock with a broad smile on his face. That smile immediately caught the attention of many observers because it had been quite some time since fans had seen him looking that relaxed, confident, and positive. According to several reports circulating within the Ducati camp, Marquez's physical condition continues to improve significantly. Some sources even suggest that his fitness level is now approaching 100%. After completing a long and demanding rehabilitation process. Despite the positive progress, Marquez has chosen to remain realistic. He is not interested in rushing his return to peak performance simply for short-term results. The difficult experiences of the past few years appear to have taught the Spanish rider some valuable lessons. During his time with Honda, Marquez repeatedly attempted to return to racing before fully recovering from his injuries. Those decisions ultimately prolonged the healing process and made his physical condition even more complicated. Now, his approach is completely different. Marquez is focused on rebuilding his strength gradually, maintaining his physical fitness, and avoiding unnecessary risks. Many MotoGP analysts believe that the biggest change in Marquez today is not just his physical condition, but also his mindset. If he was once known as a rider who attacked relentlessly without compromise, Marquez now appears much more mature in the way he approaches racing. He has learned when to push the bike to its absolute limit and when to manage risk for the sake of long-term success. This new mentality is widely viewed as one of the key reasons why his comeback is progressing far better than it did in previous years. In modern MotoGP, raw speed alone is no longer enough to achieve success. Riders must also manage their physical condition, mental pressure, and emotions throughout an extremely demanding season. So far, Marquez has shown that he is capable of doing exactly that. Attention now turns to the Hungarian Grand Prix, which will represent the next major test for the 8-time world champion. Some observers expect Marquez to continue using the relatively cautious approach that he displayed in Catalonia. Others believe that his improving physical condition will encourage him to take greater risks and challenge at the front of the field once again. If his progress continues at the current pace, it may not be long before his rivals are forced to face the version of Marc Marquez that they once feared most on the racetrack. While much of the attention in the MotoGP paddock remains focused on Marc Marquez's comeback journey, the MotoGP world is also buzzing about the remarkable achievement of young Japanese rider Agura. Agura has once again become a major talking point after reaching a historic milestone that has placed him among the most promising Japanese riders in recent years. His consistent performances have shown that he is no longer just a rising talent, but a rider who is beginning to challenge some of the biggest names in MotoGP. Thanks to his speed and growing maturity on the track, Agura has become one of the most talked about riders in the paddock today. Amid the increasingly fierce competition in MotoGP, Agura has proven that he is far more than just another rookie filling a spot on the grid. He is demonstrating that Japanese riders can still compete with the very best talents in the Premier class. This achievement is a source of great pride for Japanese motorsport. In recent years, it has been relatively rare to see a Japanese rider consistently perform at a high level and become a major figure in MotoGP. That is why Agura's accomplishment has earned widespread praise from the media, analysts, and fans alike. What makes his story even more compelling is the long journey he has taken to reach this point. Agura did not arrive in MotoGP as a superstar immediately tipped for championship success. Instead, he built his career step by step from the ground up. He progressed through the junior ranks, developed his skills on the international stage, and eventually earned his place in MotoGP's premier class. That journey was anything but easy. Competition in international motorcycle racing is famously intense. Every season brings a new wave of talented young riders eager to claim attention and secure their place on the grid. Yet Agura has managed to survive, grow, and continually improve his abilities over time. Along with his increasing speed, many observers have also noticed significant progress in his racecraft and overall maturity as a rider. Today, Agura appears far more composed when managing races. He can maintain a strong rhythm, understand changing track conditions, manage his tyres effectively, and capitalise on opportunities as they arise during a race. These skills did not develop overnight. They are the result of years of experience, hard work, discipline, and a constant commitment to learning. MotoGP demands much more than raw speed. A rider must possess the intelligence to read situations in a matter of seconds, knowing when to attack, when to defend, and when to take risks. So far, Agura has begun to demonstrate those qualities. It is no surprise that many analysts believe the future remains extremely bright for the Japanese rider. Some have even started to view him as a potential major force in MotoGP over the coming seasons. For Japanese fans, Agura's emergence also brings renewed hope that has been years in the making. After waiting so long for a rider capable of competing at the highest level, they are finally beginning to see that possibility through Agura. Even so, major challenges still lie ahead. MotoGP is a championship that never allows anyone to become complacent. Today, a rider may be the centre of attention. By the next race weekend, however, they must prove themselves all over again. That is why consistency will be the key factor in determining Agura's future. One thing is certain: the historic achievement Agura has just accomplished is proof that hard work, patience, and consistency eventually pay off. And for the young Japanese rider, this may not be the end of a journey. It could be the beginning of a much bigger story in MotoGP. What do you think? Which story is more exciting to follow this season? Marc Marquez's comeback or Agura's rise as he writes a new chapter in Japanese MotoGP history? Share your thoughts in the comments below.